and hi everyone. Today we are going to proceed our discussions on projectile motion topic. So in this video, I'm going to discuss and explain the example that involve the angle which has some value. Okay, let's read through the question together. A football is kicked at angles of 37 degree with a velocity 20 meter per second and left the punter's foot at a height of 1 meter above the ground. So the question asking how far did the football travel before hitting the ground? Before we solve the question, let's imagine the picture of these situations. So diagram below shows a punter kick the football in a parabolic path. So why not if you guys try to label the diagram by yourself? Okay, now is my turn to label the diagram. Based on the questions above, the important informations given in the question is, first, the angle here is 37 degree to the horizontal. And the question mentioned that the initial velocity is 20 meter per second. And the question also mentioned that the height of the punter's foot at 1 meter above the ground. So imagine this is the ground. So the displacement 1 meter is here. Once we draw the diagram and label all the important infos, the next step that we must do is list up all the known and unknown quantities based on the questions. So first thing that we are gonna list is the known quantity. So the question already gave us that the value of u is 20 meter per second. And then the question also gives us the value of theta, which is 37 degree. And then since the displacement along the y component is below the release point, so here is, we can call it as a release point, or we also can call it as the origin. So since the SY is below the release point, therefore we have to label SY, which consider the negative value. Okay, so now we already list up all the known quantity. So how about the unknown quantity, guys? Okay, so from the question, we don't know that the value of t. Okay, and then the second thing that we don't know is the value of Sx. And then also we don't know the value of Ux and also Uy. But then we could get the value of Ux and Uy by resolving the initial velocity into x component and y component. Okay, let's calculate the value of Ux. So to calculate the Ux, we're gonna use the equations of Ux is equals to U cos theta. And then U is 20, and then the value of theta is 37. Whereas to calculate the value of Uy, so we're going to use the equations of U sine theta, which is 20 sine 37. Okay, now you guys can use your calculator to calculate the value of ux and uy. So after calculating the value of ux, we get the value of 15.97 meter per second. And the value of uy is 12.05 meter per second. So these two values we're gonna use to calculate for the sx and sy in the next discussion. So from the known and unknown that have listed before, let's decide the equation that we're gonna choose to solve the problem. Since the question asking for the sx, therefore the most suitable equation that we should use is So the equation that we're gonna use is sx equals to uxt. So this is the equation that we should use. However, looking at the equation, we see that we did not have the value of t. So we don't know the value of t. Therefore, we have to use another equation to find the value of t first. So I decide to use the equation of sy equals to uyt minus half gt squared. Okay, so we have the value of sy, we have the value of uy, and we have the value for g. Therefore, we can find the value of t. So let's substitute in the value that we already have. So sy is equals to -1, and then uy here we already calculate and get the value which is 12.04, and then just put it t minus half, and then substitute 9.81 t squared. Okay, now use your calculator to find out the value of t. Okay, when you use your calculator correctly, you will get two values for the t, since here we have the quadratic equation. So you will get t is equals to 2.54 second, and the other value for t is equals to negative 0.08 second. So since the second value of t is negative, therefore we know that the time cannot be negative. So we just choose that the time which is 2.54 second. Okay. After we get the value of t, now let's substitute into our first equation here. Okay, so to find sx, let's substitute the value of ux that we already calculate here, which is 15.97, and then we multiply with 2.54. And then now use your calculator to find out the value of sx. So the value of sx is 40.56 meter. So we already solved this example step by step. So that's all for this video, and thank you very much.